I was surprised when I was reading, part of one of the chapters where you were talking about how it could be a book signing or something, and you're feeling really anxiety. It's like, oh, it's going to tank. It's not going to go well. And yet you have all this success, but you're feeling like that. So if you start feeling that way, what do you do to get through it?
Well, when I'm at home, what I do is I take my shoes off and I actually go walk barefoot in the yard. Because, I just feel like being grounded towards the earth is like, man, it does something to me. The only thing better than that is like being in the ocean and looking up at the sun. Like when I pray, I like to look up at the sky. I like to look at the sun. I feel like that's God's eye, right? So it's like when you're in a place where you're at a beach and you're in the water and you can look up at the sun, there's no better grounding feeling than that. But, when I'm at home, I walk around barefoot so I can put my feet in the earth, right? And it's weird thinking about that because I grew up in the country. So we would run around barefoot all the time. So when your therapist tells you that's a coping mechanism, you're like, yeah, I've been doing that my whole life. Like,
Yeah.
so it makes you get reconnected, not just back to the earth, but for me, back to, those moments in my life when life was just simple, when life was just innocent. And I started going for my anxiety, but then I started when you peeling back all them layers while you in there, man, you start dealing with so many unresolved traumas and things that happened to you when you was a child, a teenager, a young adult, and you realize how much those things impact you even now. And
Yeah.
for me telling my story, it's easy. It's still uncomfortable, but it's easier now because I know I'm not alone. Even my pops, when he read my second book, Shook One, and realized everything I was going through, he was like, yo, I went to therapy, 2 and 3 times a week. And I was on 10 to 12 different medications. I tried to kill myself 30 years ago. And I'm like, he never told me that. Like, he never told me that. He told me that for the first time 2 years ago on Thanksgiving.
Wow.
So.
Yeah. And I know for Black men in particular, like there's such a stigma, especially. So, it's great. You being open is helping other people. And I saw that you said you wouldn't share your therapist information, but are there any organizations for Black men in particular that you would recommend for, to look into for therapy resources?
Oh man, there's so many. You have Black Men Heal out of Philadelphia. That's an organization that I love. They actually provide therapy for people in the Philadelphia area. I love Silence the Shame by Shanti Das. I love people like Dr. Rita Walker. She's got a great book out called The Unapologetic Guide to Black Mental Health. My girl, Dr. Alfie Noble. She's another great resource. She's got like 2 books out there that you can, go purchase. Dr. Jessica Clemens. My man Jason Wilson out of Detroit, the Detroit area. Like, it's so many different tools and resources. Like for us to be in the position that we're in now as Black men, for us to not be like taking advantage of all these tools and resources to deal with our mental health, man, we doing ourselves a disservice, and you can't heal what you don't reveal. So like we got to drop the tough guy persona and we got to stop acting like we so hard and we so gangster. And it's okay to say, yo, man, I'm feeling something today. And I don't know what that feeling is. It's okay to say you feel sad. It's okay to say, yo, I'm feeling insecure about something. Like we got this whole macho thing. And I understand it because, we got to survive. Like you got to walk around hard, but for me, man, the only thing I want protecting me is the armor of God.
Yeah.
Everything else I got to leave my heart open to. So when I feel, I allow myself to feel.